Hello everybody and welcome back to another Hang with Drang. Today on Hang with Drang we're going to be making ourselves a camping grab and go kit. Now the rules for this grab and go camping kit is it's for a motorcycle. It's for up to a week, so we have quite a bit of supplies we might want to bring with. And we're going to camp comfortably. This is not super minimalistic and it's not way over the top either. So hope you enjoy and let's get to it. I am a glamper. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a first-person beverage right there. We're going to be using the hard panniers there. Now, my bike setup is a 2012 Tiger 1200. I've done a lot of videos about the mods I've done to this bike. We just put the lights on, highway pegs. We even put a backrest on for the long road trips. What's the plan here? Well, I have a full set of these. I have a top box as well, but I'd rather not use it. I use that primarily if my wife's going to be riding with me and she likes to have something to put her back on. So for me, I'm just going to take these and we're going to make it all work. Now first over here, you think that I'm just piling junk on the table, but this bathroom scale is actually a really neat item. It allows us to balance our panniers and see how much weight we've stacked on. The weight adds up quick, and if you don't believe me, go backpacking. The first time you go, you'll definitely overpack and you will regret every second of it. We're going to start with the exterior of the bike. What am I going to put on the outside of the bike? Firstly, sleeping pad. Waterproof, it's fine if it's outside of the bike. Very versatile, and I hammock camp. You definitely want to put one of these in a hammock. It keeps your butt from freezing in the middle of the night, and it will be cold on this camp out. Could be as low as in the 30s. So that thermal pad is really a nice thing to throw in the bottom of a hammock. Next, a stove. Now this stove is quite massive for, no backpacker would want to carry this because this is actually a industrial size butane cooktop. But why am I bringing this? Well, two reasons. I have this one, and I don't have a really small backpacking one. That's one, although they're pretty cheap. I already have this one. Two, this thing cooks so fast. It boils water unbelievably fast. It'll cook a meal almost too fast. You basically almost get no enjoyment out of cooking. That's how fast this thing is. I mean, it's incredible, and it's easy to use. It's all basically automatic. So let's do a quick run through this. One thing I like about it, you can store stuff in there. So it's all about maximizing space. This is not Zicam, it's actually dish soap. So I keep that in there. The cookware, it's hard to actually get to wash your stuff. So a sponge for cleanup, Ziploc baggies for anything. Lock the can in and turn the lever. Look at that. Now that's a clean flame right there. It ain't no propane clean, but it's still pretty clean. And then whenever you unlock it, it's good to go. These cans last for quite a while too. I only need one can for potentially up to a week. Now this isn't waterproof, so basically everything that's not waterproof is going to be going inside this dry bag. The dry bag is going to hold that, my laptop, my cameras, and all that kind of stuff. This bag works fantastic. And this is a First Gear 25-liter dry bag. This was what I used for a tail bag for my sport bikes for a long time because you could take it off, and it's just these are just great to have in general. Next up, an axe, or a hatchet, really. This is a pretty sturdy one. You could probably get a lighter one than this, but I already owned it, so I wanted to make it work. Now I made myself a little duct tape kind of wallet thing here. The reason was it didn't have a sleeve, and I really don't want these sharp edges because there's a special place that I mounted this. Check it out. Onto our zip tie contraption. I needed something that, I had plenty of places to attach to. I even considered going under the frame underneath the bike here, if you can see that. There's just bars everywhere on these Tigers. So the only concern I had was if I was doing off-road that the wheel articulation could bump into it, could damage the tire, something like that. Or if the axe shifted around because of vibration or a pothole, that it would get in the way. And, you know, I really want it away from the tire. I mean, ideally I'd have it in the center for the balancing, but obviously that's not a place you want to go putting sharp objects with a tire spinning. So what I decided to do was use this hard fixed mounted, this is the factory luggage mount. Now probably any a GV or SW Motec, they're all basically bars, and they're probably all going to attach the same places on this bike. It's going to differ for yours, but most bikes have a similar sort of frame. And I only use the exterior. So first, I made a loophole for the axe to actually go through. Just big enough to get the handle in. The handle is the biggest part on the axe. So once that gets in, it needs to sit on top of it and not fall through. Did the top first, bottom second. Then, as I was putting it together, I decided, well, it seems like it wants to slide around back and forth. I don't want that, because if it moves, there's a chance it could come free. I do not want an axe flying down the highway. That's not good for anyone. So what I did was I put 2 zip ties on each top and bottom, one on the side here. And essentially that just keeps this from moving around. Axe, get your handle in. Not the quickest thing. You just worm it in there. Remember, this is something you'll be pulling out at a campsite, so I've got, damn it. So I've got plenty of time to get this in and out of this thing. The bottom one, just like that. And voila, the axe has a little bit of movement, but there's no hard parts against hard parts for vibration. There's not. It's pretty secure. It's not gonna fall through. And lastly, on the back of the bike, I know this is a mess. This is my sleeping bag. It's just a Marmot sleeping bag. You can get them at REI. I got this one on sale for a pretty good price. And I also bought this nice dry compression sack. It's waterproof. You stuff that in there, and it's really nice to have, actually. You don't want these sleeping bags getting wet. This is a down sleeping bag, so you're very warm. It's very light. But if it gets wet, oh my God. All right, next up, let's actually talk panniers. So the way I like to do the panniers is bags within the panniers, essentially, so you don't have a bunch of loose stuff knocking around. Let me just show you how I did this. All right, so we have our left and our right, stage left, stage right, however you want to put it. We have all of our food, cookware, med kits, and toiletries. These are our toiletries. Toiletries are real basic. Wet wipes, because that's a must. Toothbrush, toothpaste, and some Purell. The Purell is good. Obviously, you want to keep your hands clean if you're cooking, and you can use it as fire starter. So let's talk about the cooking for just a second. It looks like a bunch of water. Well, there is a lot of water in there. But basically, the meals are freeze-dried food. This is cheesy lasagna. I've had this one. It's pretty good. It's from Wise Food Company. This is survival prep food, but I figure if I don't eat it, I never will. So I just kind of buy some survival food for the house, and then I just use it, when I go camping, or I'll keep some with me at any time. Now, let me basically give you the prep instructions for this. 2 bottles of water, or you can just measure it out, whatever, and you boil this. You boil it in this and start until it's basically done, and you just kind of taste it to see when it's done. It just thickens up and starts kind of bubbling. It's pretty tasty, actually. And there's a rice teriyaki one in there. So, that's that. So as far as other stuff, we have here a neat little spice tin. My mother got this for me. I thought that was pretty cool. It's got all kinds of basic stuff, but if you're going to throw some meat on something or fish or whatever, it's good to have salt. It's good to have pepper and, all that kind of stuff. Tea and coffee. And, coffee-wise, the lightest way I can find to do decent coffee is these Via instant coffee packets. They don't have to be Starbucks, but they make a pretty decent one. It's not the best, but for instant coffee, it doesn't get much better, really. So, for the morning, boom. Now, for the nighttime, I like to have some tea. And this is licorice. I thought that was pretty dandy. So I have, 3 extra water bottles for, I can either do another meal, but I can also make my coffee, I can make my tea, that kind of stuff. I'll also have a camel pack that I'm wearing. So for just drinking water, we're covered there. So here's a fine REI product. It's just one of their cheaper ones, but it's a backpacking dishware set. Comes with the exterior as a pot. You can boil water, you can cook food. We'll get into some shortcomings in a second. I've had this for quite a while. But it's pretty dang nifty. You have a pretty deep pot, so you can boil, you can cook on the bottom if you have to. Here's one of the problems. You can see all that stuff built up in there. But it's very thin and stuff burns to it really easy, and it's hard to clean stuff when you're out there. Thus, I keep dish soap and a sponge. Comes with 2 bowls. Real basic. And they work really well. And it comes with these really cool cups. 2 of them. They have a lid. And the lid, it's insulated. It keeps your coffee warm for a really long time, actually. A couple neat things. It has measurement indicators here. So you can, if you don't have bottles of water, you're not like a terrible person like me, then you can just measure the water you need in there for cooking or whatever. And if you don't have a spoon, you can use the lid. Simply, basically like this. Actually works pretty good. I don't know if they designed it for that, but it seems like they did because it does work quite well. You can also store stuff inside of these too. I used to keep my spices and things in like that, but then one time some moisture in the air caused it to all harden, and then basically made my drinks taste like crap for the whole trip, so I don't keep anything of it anymore. Basic electronics bag, and I think earplugs and a headlamp flashlight. So this is just like basic quick grab things that I might need. Next, in there at the bottom, you're going to see a light duty pair of motorcycle gloves. There's nothing worse than when you have great weather, and Oregon has this way of changing temperature by about 15 degrees instantly, and I sure do like to have a light duty pair of gloves for when it gets hot. Alright, my friends at Safe sent me this little survival pack, and it's like a little basic first aid kit, but it's pretty neat, so I keep that in here too. I put in some DEET. I kind of like to have it. I spray it around the hammock around where I tie it off, and the hope is that it keeps ants off of me. An extra torch, absolutely must. Surgical gloves, I love to keep these for a variety of reasons. Working on the bike, lining my hands with them if it's very cold and wet, that kind of thing. It's just nice to have. It's got first aid stuff. It's got even a multi-tool in there. It's even got like a little food ration. And it's got some interesting thing. I thought this was so bizarre. Emergency water. And it comes in a bag, and you just drink it out of the bag. So the point is, like, at bare minimum, you can survive for 2 days or something. So you're going to be dehydrated, but the point is to just get you out of a shitty situation. So, yeah, cool. Leave it in. You want the weight as low as possible, so I try to make sure and get everything down low in the panniers. It's good for the center of gravity. On to second pannier. In this one, I keep basically everything else. It's all the camping stuff. But within this bag is, let's just pull it out. Okay, I like to have bag liners as much as possible. I'll just kind of go through and explain what I'm doing here. First of all, they sell bag liners for hard panniers, and they cost a fucking fortune. It'd be ridiculous to buy them. Everyone's got bags and bits lying around, just use them. My God, look at this. Free, boom. Free, boom. They were crappy ice chests as what they were supposed to be, but they're awesome bag liners. This is interesting. Check this out, guys. Look at that. Does that look like garbage and lint? Oh, that's because it is, guys. It's kindling. So I keep, whenever my wife does laundry, I keep the bits and stuff like that, and it's fire starter, essentially. There's some paper bag in there. There's lint. There's dryer sheets. They all burn excellent. And then, you just take this bag, basically, and put about half of it down, put some sticks on top of that, like go collect sticks, and then keep the other half so you can keep kindling the fire. put more sticks in. Then you put bigger sticks in and bigger sticks in, and you got yourself a nice fire. It goes pretty quick. And you don't have to gather the kindling, which I find takes a lot of time. Hammock. This is a big hammock. It's a 2-person hammock. So it's not the lightest, you know, but it was a $20 hammock on Amazon rather than a $100 one from REI. And it's really comfortable. And because it's for 2 people, and I toss and turn, I don't fall out of it. Extra stakes, hammock straps. These are freaking great. This is an all-purpose tarp. You can make a tent out of it, and it's meant to go over a hammock, but I've found that you can basically make yourself a makeshift tent in really dire straits if you don't have a couple of trees around. One other thing that's kind of nice is this. It's just an inflatable pillow. Tuck it in here, pull it out, and there's the little blowhole thing there. You just fill it up, good to go. Hello. Hey. 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 Who's a good girl? Okay, and lastly, there is clothes. This is actually a motorcycle helmet bag. Like I said, we have all this stuff that we get, you know, just use it. Like, the reason I use this motorcycle bag for my clothes is it keeps me packing light. If I have a bigger bag for clothes, I will fill it. So I'm bare bones here. And that's kind of what you have to do on a trip like this. We have 10.4 kilograms. I know you couldn't see that. You just have to take my word for it. Let's try to set it in the same place on the scale. So we are at 11.5. Now, here's the real rub here. We need to switch gear. This is a heavier pack. Our axe goes on the left side of the bike. Goes right here, right? So it's going to add a little bit of weight on this side. Probably will offset it if I just switch the packs around. So I'll switch them around. And there we have it. You can see here we've got our nice camping kit all mounted to the bike. Everything fits really well. The bike is very well balanced. I've actually done the trip and done the camping, and it worked out great. When you balance your bike with the weight, it just makes the trip so much better. The weight that you're adding on the bike really disappears. When you're really going to notice the weight, it's when you get way too much weight back on the bike, way too much weight on one side of the bike, so it is important to weigh your luggage. Now, there's no right or wrong way to pack for camping, and you can pack a lot less than I did, and you can pack a lot more than I did. But I was comfortable, I had a good time, and it met all of my conditions. Hope this was helpful. I'll catch you guys next time. Stay safe. We'll see you then.